Hey guys, good morning. So I thought I'd shoot a video to show you an update on the ADU that we're building here on our personal property. And we've been really hard at work at connecting utilities, and we've got some conduits running here underneath the driveway to have electrical connections back to the main house. We also installed a backup generator. You can see there top of the hill. And again, this is what I would consider, right, a custom ADU. This is for family members of ours, so we're definitely going above and beyond what we do, kind of a traditional modular, kind of more production modular project. But for folks out there that are interested in building a business around ADUs and luxury modular, you can see, this is being an example of what is possible with modular, right? And you can see that detail there that we completed since the last video, right? That's a finished detail that obviously, again, being a custom home that we're doing that we wouldn't traditionally do. Obviously, it adds cost and time, because that's something that needs to be done on site and not at the factory. And but I just, as we continue to do videos on this project, I want you to see what is possible with modular, and then at the end, when it's all said and done, you'll never be able to tell the difference and just the overall quality. So again, I'm glad when we installed that blue membrane there on top at the factory, and that was installed at the factory. It came that way as we've been waiting for the roof to be installed, and all the spring rain that we've had, the home has been well protected. And you'll see inside, we just had a lot of rain. As you can see, we had several inches. I'd say probably 4 or 5 inches here the last 2 days. And so you're going to see kind of the worst of what it looks like, and it's really minimal inside of some of the water penetration, again, compared to what you would do and see in a site-built situation. Obviously, this chimney, right, is obviously a custom, site-built touch, but it's not because it's modular that you can't do that, right? And you can see again the finishing there to match the other side. And then I'll show you now in the conditioned crawl storage area. They've been completing the HVAC. We've already had the plumbing connection done, and you can see the air vents being installed right here, and basically matching the plans that we had from the factory. And I'll show you upstairs. These HVAC vent spots, vents get actually cut out upstairs to be connected down here. And you can also see that we're gonna have several vents to this downstairs area, as this will be a conditioned crawl space. These are all, again, insulated precast superior walls that we've installed here. We even had 1 inch of continuous foam board installed underneath the concrete before we poured the slab. So again, I want to show you the HVAC connections. They're bringing it from both sides and having the main trunk in the middle, essentially pretty much lining up where the two boxes come together, as you'd seen from our earlier videos. And then you can also see the plumbing completed. I did a video about the plumbing drops and how those get put together. And obviously I'll come to one exit point over there. But most of the HVAC vent is in. Vents are in, and there'll be one unit down here. There'll be a 2-zone house. Again, you don't have to do it that way. This is, again, a custom modular house. You could probably have done it with 1 zone, but it being a custom house, we want to have the comfort of having 2 zones. So we'll have 1 zone down here that will condition this storage crawl space and the main floor upstairs, and then one for the upstairs unit. And then you can see they've also completed the continuous zip. So right down here. This was, and the factory sent the loose material for the site crew to be able to trim it and basically put the last cap at the bottom. If you recall, when they're delivered, it came down to here, and then we added on site the remaining so that we continue that insulation all around. Again, this is a custom modular. You know, most modulars would not have that 3/4 zip continuous all around. But for this one, that's what we're doing, and will be a lot more energy efficient. It will be super, super tight, super comfortable. See, this is a temporary door the frame is in. Since last time, you guys have probably seen it, and our site guys just took off the main door just to protect it. So here, pretty close to what you saw last time. Again, this is pretty much how it left the factory. You can see the two merge line here between the two boxes. And then here are the vent pipes, holes that are cut by the local HVAC contractor. And there's the cutout piece that they took out from the floor there and then are installing to match down below. And again, this is I keep saying, I just want to make sure you guys understand it's a custom modular home. So, you know, more in production home, this is the master bath, first floor master bath. Everything would be done at the factory. The tile would be in, the cabinets, everything, the tiling would be done. But again, this is a custom home, so we're doing using a lot of materials that the factory do not have, and so that's what we're having to install it on site. This is again the walk-in closet, the pocket doors that I had shown previously, again done at the factory as part of the modular box. The panel box is done at the factory, and you can see I don't know if I showed this in the previous video, but just how well laid out and written the panel is. The local inspector that came and looked at this said it's one of the best looking panels he's ever seen. Definitely an advantage to modular, just how precise and clean everything is. And here we're walking back in the kitchen area. Again, a production home, modular home would have all that kitchen installed, appliances, flooring, cabinets, but this is again a custom home, so we're doing little things differently. This is the powder room, first floor powder room. And then as we go upstairs, as I'd shown in previous videos, the outside structure, everything structurally was done at the factory and was set the first day when we put the whole house together. And so the only things that were, and this being site built, is these interior walls, and obviously the electrical and the HVAC that you see them run here up there. This is where the second zone is gonna sit up here. So that part is site built as well. And on this one, because of the energy efficiency level that we're trying to keep, we're gonna spray foam all the way up to the top of the roof. And so they'll pick up from down here and spray foam all the way up to the top of the roof. And so we're pretty close to being done up here, right, to be ready to insulate and sheetrock. All the electricals in, all the recess cans have been installed, all the plumbing is done. See, there'll be one vanity here. This will be the shower. And the bathroom here. And another vanity. Then the other thing that's really nice about these capes is that you're able to pick up storage area here underneath right there, which they need to come back and make an opening, better opening, in between these joists here to be able to access, but you'll see that this will be essentially be conditioned storage area on all sides. So this in each room will have conditioned storage, and as I mentioned in my previous video, the other advantage to these capes is you essentially get, you know, 2-story home without having 4 boxes. These are again 2 modular boxes here. We're looking down the middle, right? And box 1 to the left, box 2 this way, and the roof here was hinged and built at the factory and hinged up when they set it. Double hinged up there to finalize top of the roof. And then this side here was just 3 panels. 1, 2, and 3. And then these dormers were individual pieces as well, built at the factory. So you get to have an upstairs living area without having the need to have 4 boxes, because the only other way to do this, obviously, is to add another box on top of this one and another box on top of this and end up with a true 2-story home, right? Obviously not called a cape, that's why it's called a cape. But it's a lot more expensive, where capes are a better cost-effective way to be able to accomplish square footage upstairs, because you're already paying for the modulars. And one of the most important assets of a modular factory is that the line placement, and how many boxes a year they put on that line. And so there, on this one, it being 2 boxes, you're already paying the majority of the line for those 2 boxes. And so it's not that much extra to create what you need up here, right? Adding a shed dormer here in the back to create this opening area, and these dormers in the front. That's a lot more cost effective than building 2 more boxes again to create an upstairs space. So next video I'll do, you know, most likely we'll have this insulated and possibly sheetrocked, but I just wanted to kind of show you the progress of the home. And again, this is a custom, what we consider a custom modular ADU, but we're able to do all the same nice finishes that a luxury home would have. You know, this little room here is going to have 4 recessed cans, LED recessed cans in it, right? Its own HVAC zone up here. We're gonna do heated mats, heated floors here, mats in the bathrooms, right? And these dormers are really nice. I've always loved these modular dormers. Again, they're 1 piece and completely walk-in dormers, which we could build a little bench down here to sit on, and we've got three decent sized dormers that also bring a lot of light. So with all the rain that we had, you know, close to 5 inches here the last 2 days, you can see a little bit of wet spots, but again, nothing major. You know, most light rains, we haven't had any. I think the only reason we're seeing a little bit here is because just the amount of rain that we had. But again, nothing like you would have in a site-built site frame home where everything's open, everything exposed. You'd have major puddles of water, you know, all up here in the upstairs, and everything exposed here, while here everything is dry. There's the bathroom vent here, and all the electrical is in. And there's a great need for ADU housing. I mean, we've had several neighbors here just pull over and want to take a look at the house, and they're in the same situation. Some of them have a kid that's moving back, and they want to have, you know, a home like this for them on the property, or an in-law or a family member, or they want for a guest house. And so there's an entire business model to be built around building ADUs. And this is very repeatable, right? Again, that's the advantage of modular is this cape could be built over and over and over again. You could come up with a couple of designs that you like, and you can also really dial in your pricing because you know 95% of what you're going to build is being built in the factory. And so you can have confidence when you're pricing something and give people a real bid on what it would cost to build one of these, just from the experience and the repetition of building these. So an ADU is definitely a part of the workforce housing, attainable housing, building more housing solution, right? I know a lot of you've heard about ADUs. We talk a lot about in the press, and a lot of zoning has changed to allow for these ADUs to be built, accessory dwelling units, not just in more rural areas, but also in urban areas. So, and this could very easily be designed to be a front entry 2-level home, little ADU. And there's so many ways that you could build an ADU modular, and you come up with your own design that you specialize in and even style, and that you just repeat over and over again. So feel free to leave a comment, ask questions, and look forward to talking to you guys. Have a good day.